ASMR Coffin Radio.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Coffin Radio. I am Heartthrob Rob, and today we are talking about Sasha Banks and Naomi walking out on Raw. These girls didn't like creative, and they were going to let fucking Vince know. And I don't know what kind of case we got going on here, but I'll break it down. The original plan was for Banks and Naomi on Raw to be a part of a six-pack challenge with the right to face Bianca Belair for the WWE Raw Women's Championship at Hell in a Cell. And we would see Naomi pin Sasha Banks to win the match and receive the title shot. So we got a six-pack challenge where Naomi is going to pin her tag team partner, Sasha Banks, or her championship tag team partner, Sasha Banks, go get a title shot against Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. On the flip side, somehow, some sort of way, Sasha Banks was going to get a fucking championship match against Ronda Rousey for the Smackdown title, right? And, Naomi would lose to Bianca at Hell in a Cell, right? It is what it is. And Rousey, and Sasha Banks would lose to Ronda Rousey in the same night at Hell in a Cell. I guess the girls didn't like that too much. Or they, I don't know how to break it down, but the girls didn't like it, right? What it comes down to is fucking the very first reason we hear about it is because WWE goes on the air about it. They make a fucking announcement, dude. When was the last time they made an announcement like that? And they say that Sasha Banks and Naomi have left the building and that they, can't promise that main event that they were promising earlier. And they released a statement that was also online saying, when Sasha Banks and Naomi arrived at the arena this afternoon, they were informed of their participation in the main event of tonight's Monday Night Raw. During the broadcast, they walked into WWE Head of Talent Relations John Laurinaitis' office with their suitcases in hand, placed their tag team championships belts on his desk, and walked out. They claimed they weren't respected enough as tag team champions, and even though they had 8 hours to rehearse... So, let me break that down real quick. So, they walk in, they have fucking... they're told what the plan is for the match, and they fucking, when the broadcast is on, they go to John Laurinaitis' desk and drop the championship titles down. It continues. During the broadcast, they claimed they weren't respected enough as tag team champions, and even though they had 8 hours to rehearse and construct their match, they claimed they were uncomfortable in the ring with two of their opponents, even though they'd had matches with those individuals in the past with no consequence. Monday Night Raw is a scripted live television show whose characters are expected to perform the requirements of their contract. We regret we were unable to deliver as advertised tonight's main event. You fucking bastards. How dare you? When I grew up, you couldn't tell me this shit wasn't real. I knew Bret Hart was the man. Shawn Michaels was great. Diesel was a fucking asshole. Razor sold drugs, and I knew it. And here you bastards are saying they claim during the broadcast, that Monday Night Raw is a scripted live TV show. How fucking dare you? And they had 8 hours to construct their match. How dare you say that? How dare you ruin all those kids that don't fucking know it, dude? And put them down like that and break kayfabe. And I know the toothpaste is out the bottle and it can't go back. But Jesus fucking Christ, let's keep some level of respectability around here. I couldn't believe it. And don't think that I didn't see the seed of enmity that they tried to put between Sasha Banks and Naomi and the other girls in the locker room. Because you got to think, they say, they said that they had claimed they were uncomfortable in the ring with two of their opponents that they've had matches with and those individuals with no past consequences. So, there's 6 people in this fucking match, okay? Sasha Banks and Naomi are out of it. There's 4 other girls you got to think about. WWE has said that we know that these girls said that they're not comfortable with 2 of them, leaving 2 other ones. What does that immediately do to the other 4 girls that are top girls that were in that match? Oh, I know she wasn't talking about me. They were talking about her. No, she wasn't talking about her. She was talking about her. Oh, I know they weren't talking about me. I'm not bro, that you're trying to fucking make these girls hate on each other, or the fact that you think, oh, Sasha was talking shit about, Bianca don't like, or whatever the fuck, Sasha don't like you, Naomi doesn't like you. You know what I mean? You know that that's what they're trying to do. And I think it's crazy that they released a statement. They haven't released a statement like this since Austin. You know, and I don't know if these girls took their ball and ran home, but, you know, I think it's crazy that WWE released a statement so quickly. And I think there was another statement from Sneakerhead88 that is supposedly someone from Naomi's camp, because Naomi follows this person, one of like 88 people. I don't know. She follows a couple people actually. But they said that the Sneakerhead88 said that that they had tried and repeatedly were trying to find out, like, hey man, it's not about us losing. It's not about us with this, especially not about the part of the girl being uncomfortable. Apparently it wasn't that at all, from what Naomi and Sasha, like this statement that's been released by someone that supposedly knows them, so take it with a grain of salt. But supposedly they said, hey, we got no problem losing, you know, we have no problem dropping with this, but why isn't so-and-so in the six-pack challenge instead of us? Like, what does this do for the women's tag team match, you know? What does this do for the women's tag team fucking division? You've given us this chance. You let us do WrestleMania, but we haven't fucking defended it, you know, since then. It's been a couple weeks. Like, let's do something with the tag team championships. Let's do something with the division. Meanwhile, you want us in a six-pack challenge and fighting for, you know, for the championships, for singles titles. Let's work on the tag team division. That's supposedly what is being said. I don't know how true that is. That's what I said. Take it with a grain of salt. But what we do know is that this company, you know, WWE has released this statement saying, you know, of their side of the story. And, you know, to me, there's three sides to every story. Their side, your side, and somewhere in the middle. I hope the truth gets out, but, you know, it seems to me like the same story is being told over and over again at WWE. These people getting tired of the same old creative. These people just feeling, you know, shoved, you know, putting a square, you know, fucking pin into a, what is it? Square box into a circle pin, whatever it is, you know? It doesn't fit. Things aren't working. You know, don't try and mold me into something that I'm not. I don't know. You know, it's their way or the highway. They are paying the bills. If you don't like it, get out. And that's maybe what these girls did. They got out. Will they show up at AEW somewhere else? Who knows? I know people like to say, you know, double or nothing, but Jesus Christ, you'd be fucking sued to all hell. Everyone knows they got a 90-day no-compete clause. I mean, if Flair didn't do it in 96 or whatever it was when he was supposed to go to WWF, then he was circling the block, if you know that story. If Flair didn't do it, I couldn't see anyone else doing it, because only someone like Flair would have the balls to do something like that. But who fucking knows? Brian Pillman showed up at 3 different fucking wrestling locations in 1 week, so who knows? He's on 3 different wrestling shows in 1 week. Or excuse me, Rick Rude, not Brian Pillman, Rick Rude. But, yeah, man, who knows? I want to find out more about what these girls are saying, but if the creative ain't right, I can see both sides of the story. You're you're on contract, do what's told, you know, it's a work, it's a show, it's a work, right? It's a work. But then there's also, dude, I'm trying to save the fucking wrestling business. I'm trying to make sure what's right for my character. We live in a world, wrestling is not acting, wrestling is not scripted, it's not, you know, football, it's somewhere in the middle. It's this crazy fucking world that we've all decided to live in. Suspension of disbelief. It's where people really do have their fates in their own hands. Everyone is their character just put to 10, right? I'm trying to make sure my character in life is set straight. I'm in my prime. What can I get out of this fucking business? What can I give to this business? And maybe that's what these girls are trying to find out. I don't know, but I'm just taking a wild guess out here. But let me know what you guys think, man. Was it professional, unprofessional? You stay, you go? What would you do? Let me know. We'll talk about it in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, and if you like what you're watching, then hop in the coffin. Follow us on social media at Coffin Radio. Coffin is spelled with a K. And that's all for today.
ASMR Coffin Radio.